guys and welcome back to my channel. Hi if you're new. Today I'm just going to be telling you about what the latest update with which way I'm giving birth basically. So if you don't know, I am in a wheelchair. I had a lumbar puncture 3 years ago.
By the way guys, she does have legs.
I had a lumbar puncture 3 years ago when I was diagnosed with a brain tumour, and I had 2 lumbar punctures. I had one on one day, another one the next day, and then the following day after that my legs started giving way. My knees started doing like jelly legs underneath me, so I would walk kind of, it's hard to describe, kind of like in jerky movements like this, because my knees were dropping constantly. Then a month later I collapsed, and ever since I have not walked. So I haven't walked in over 3 years now. I am in a wheelchair. I can't stand, I can't walk, I can't do anything, I can't be in a walker, I can only be in a wheelchair. I can do everything else apart from stand and walk. So I can crawl, which is how I usually get around if I'm not in my chair. I can move my legs, they're strong, like I've got muscles in them. I can go to the gym and press weights on them. Everything's there, the feeling, everything. I just can't walk basically. We don't have a diagnosis for it, which makes it a little bit difficult to know which kind of way that we are going to go about labour. Also, as I just mentioned, I had a brain tumour. I had it removed in 2015 in Australia after fundraising, because it's too dangerous to operate in this country. So that's another hurdle to overcome when thinking about my birth plan. So basically the other day I went to see an anaesthetist in Bangor. Is that even the right word? Anaesthetist? Or is it whoever deals with anaesthetic basically. I had an appointment with him to discuss obviously my anaesthetic options during labour. So my neurologist and my neurosurgeon have already basically said that they do not really feel comfortable with me giving birth naturally, because the pressure of me trying to give birth could put pressure in my head, because I had hydrocephalus just before my surgery, so we caught it just in time kind of thing. So the pressure of giving birth could cause the hydrocephalus to come back, and I would basically have to give birth and then go straight into brain surgery, get a shunt fitted and all that stuff. So it's just not really a logical option. It's not very safe, because I don't want to go and risk it, have a normal birth and then have problems, complications, have to have brain surgery and then not be able to look after my child. So it's just not going to work. So we have all decided, my anaesthetist, I hope I'm saying that word right, my neurologist, my neurosurgeon, my midwife, everyone have decided that we are going to go for a caesarean. Now the other problem is with a caesarean, because of how I'm in a wheelchair, it hasn't actually been ruled that the lumbar puncture necessarily did something for me not to be able to walk, but it's a little bit of too much of a coincidence that I stopped walking the day after I had 2 lumbar punctures, and I was completely healthy before that. So there is something attributed to the lumbar puncture, maybe they hit a nerve or something like that. We don't have a diagnosis, but again, my neurologist and my neurosurgeon do not feel comfortable with me having a normal caesarean, because of course that is brought on with an epidural. The epidural obviously numbs everything so that you can't feel it when they cut you open. But because an epidural is basically, it's like in the same place and it's pretty similar to a lumbar puncture, they do not feel happy with me having an epidural because of what happened with the lumbar puncture. So that has been pretty much ruled out too. So my only last option is to have a caesarean under general anaesthetic. So I will be going in 2 to 3 weeks early and having the baby. I will be completely knocked out, I will be totally asleep, they will take the baby out and I will wake up later. So basically how it works is they put me to sleep, we go at a certain time, a certain date, which is kind of good because at least we know when our baby's being born. We'll be going in on that date, I will be being put to sleep, The only thing is, Baz will not be allowed to be in the room. They said there's like a room next to it with a window, and they can take the baby and like hold it up to the window so that Baz can see the baby once it's born. Because even though it's kind of like every mum wants to have their baby be put on their chest straight away when they give birth. It's, you know, it's the normal thing to do. And a lot of people who have cesareans and a general anaesthetic, or people who have complications and can't see their baby straight away, feel kind of disappointed by that, and I totally get it. But I was more scared of Baz not being able to be in the room and not being able to see the baby. But they have reassured me that they will take the baby straight to him and he will see him once he's born. So that's like put my mind at ease. I think the way it works is after that they will, you know, get the baby ready and things, they'll stitch me up. I will still be unconscious for about 3 hours, and whilst I am unconscious, a nurse or a midwife or whoever does it will go with Baz and help him like look after the baby and feed the baby and all that stuff. So I will be waking up like 3 hours later, and obviously it's sad, but all I care about is which option is the safest for me and for the baby. Because like I said, if I was going to risk having a natural birth, it would also be a massive risk that I wouldn't be able to look after my child. And although I don't get to see him for 3 hours, that's nothing compared to if I wasn't able to see him for even longer, because I'd have to go in for brain surgery and then have to recover from that and not be able to do much for myself. Because after having brain surgery, there's like a lot of things that go on, as you can imagine. It affects your eyes, it affects your speech, it affects pretty much everything. So that would not be good, basically. So we have decided that we're not going to go for a normal birth, we're not going to go for an epidural cesarean, we are going for the cesarean under general anaesthetic. So if anyone else has had a cesarean under general anaesthetic, I would love if you could comment down below, please, because I'd love to have a chat about it and ask you some questions. Because I've had like the chat with my anaesthetist so far, but I haven't had a chance to speak to my midwife and things. So it'd be really nice to have someone to talk to and just kind of like tell me about your experience and things. That'd probably help a lot, so that would be great. Please, if you know someone, send them my way and tell them to comment, or if you go in the description below, all my links will be there for you to message me on like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or anything like that. So yeah, that's basically what my birth plan is. I just thought I would let you know so that I could, again, find people who can give me some help and tips and what it's going to be like and things. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you will join me on the rest of my bump date journey, and once the little one arrives. I'm so bloody excited. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!